Aflatoxins are poisons that are produced by fungus that we find naturally in our environment. You can find the fungus in the soils, you can find them in the air, you can find them in your foodstuffs. So these fungi will produce the poison that we call aflatoxins. The poison itself is colorless, you cannot see it. It's odorless, you cannot smell it, and it's tasteless. Primarily, we worry about its implications on our health, but it also affects trade as well as food availability. We have what we call acute poisoning. It means you eat copious amounts of aflatoxin and it affects you, you get ill, and it could even lead to death. But you and me should be concerned about what we call chronic exposure or chronic poisoning. And that is when you eat small quantities, but which are nevertheless not safe, according to what our standards bodies have set as the safe limit to our health. Now, the Kenya Bureau of Standards, that has a mandate to set standards in this country, has put the regulatory threshold for aflatoxins as 10 parts per billion for total aflatoxins and 5 parts per billion for aflatoxin B1. Kenya is a net importer of maize, and we have had truckloads condemned at the borders, and maize can no longer pass or is condemned for incineration because, of unsafe levels. So the business sector has also been affected. The best approach for managing food safety hazards, including aflatoxins, is prevention. You'd rather deal with the problem not getting into your food rather than chasing after the problem or the hazard once it has contaminated your produce. We must ensure that the consumer is very well informed about the dangers so that they are able to change their behavior and do something about the hazard or the food safety concern. During pre-harvest, we do have solutions, and these are solutions that target the general health of the crop during growth and making sure that it is not stressed. So usually high temperature, drought stress, poor management practices all predispose your produce to contamination. But also we have solutions that are now commercialized, like AflaSafe. It's a biological control solution that you can apply when the crop is still growing in the fields to make sure that the fungus that produces the poison does not make it to the crop, does not colonize the crop and produce aflatoxin.
Ningependa kuhimiza wakulima wenzangu wanunue AflaSafe waapply kwa mahindi yao, kwa sababu baada ya kuvuna tukipeleka kwa board haitanunuliwa ikiwa na aflatoxin, na ikikosa kununuliwa itakuwa hasara kwa wakulima wenzangu, kwa sababu hiyo ndio our cash crop ama our income.
With the AflaSafe KE01, I'm going to benefit because I'll have already markets for my produce, and of course at the same time I will make a maximum profit from my farm.
Post-harvest is another major entry point for the poison. And we normally say that whatever process it is, during harvesting, during storage, during transportation, during processing, packaging, retail, you ensure that the integrity of the product is also maintained. Ensure that you're not adding moisture, that you're not predisposing the grain to insect damage, for example, because once you damage and there's an access, for the fungus and other pests to come in, you're already opening it up, for the fungus to come and produce the poison. Another solution that has been seen to work effectively post-harvest is the use of hermetic storage. And the principle behind its operation is just to make sure that any pests that would find its way into grain has no chance of survival, because you've removed the air, and there's no moisture coming in. So if there was any surviving there, it would die. Yeah. And these are now available in agro-dealer shops. And so, you know, farmers and anyone else who wants to use the bags can easily access that technology. What happens after you do all that and still you find that your crop or produce is contaminated? We do have what we call decontamination options. And recently, the Kenya government is actually working on introducing something that they call the ozone technology for decontaminating produce or grain that may already be contaminated. Yeah? Ammoniation is also used, but once you apply ammoniation, you're not able to use that maize or whatever grain it is for human consumption. It is now diverted for animal feed manufacturing. There's also the use of binders, also in the livestock sector. Capacity building and awareness raising initiatives through the MARKUP program have actually reached a wide, huge audience. Because of the avenues used, we have reached thousands of farmers and consumers across the country through various media outlets. But we're also able to reach out to inspectors across key agencies in Kenya dealing with aflatoxin management, such as the Kenya Bureau of Standards, like the Public Health Department in the Ministry of Health, and the Agriculture and Food Authority. And we actually dealt with their officers at the headquarters, but also in the counties. Yeah? And we ensured that beyond the project, we do master trainers so that these people can be able to continuously transfer their knowledge beyond the shelf life of the MARKUP project. And you could see feedback, you know, farmers, when you interrogate and you go to find out, you know, whether anything has changed, they're telling you now, they know what not to do and what to do to ensure that they are producing safe grain, which is important.